So let me give you the topic of a group discussion today, and the topic is impact of global warming. Impact of global warming on the economic growth. Impact of global warming on the economic growth. Impact of global warming on the economic growth. So this topic is also shown you here. You can see this topic. Impact of global warming on economic growth. I'll give you a couple of minutes, 2 minutes to think over this topic, and then I'll come to each one of you for introduction. Okay, I think we can start from Bhupendra. Bhupendra, give your points on this.
Good evening all. I am Bhupendra Kumar and I am happy to initiate this discussion on impact of global warming. So I think we should start with what is global warming and how is it related to economic growth. What are the direct areas which relates the economic growth? We can talk on that, like there is energy sector which is directly affected due to the emission of carbon dioxide, which are the cause mainly. Does it affect the all areas same? Like I talk about the growth of economic growth of Iran. Iran has much of energies like oils. So there will be different impact for different areas. Sure, you all are having good points also. So I would like to invite you all in this discussion. Okay.
Mayank?
My name is Mayank Agrawal and I would like to start this group discussion. So the topic that is given to us the impact of global warming on the economic growth. So first we should define what is the global warming and how it affects the economic growth. Like in one of the sector is energy sector, and another sector like infrastructure sector, agriculture sector. So we should move in this particular direction. We should define first of all economic growth, and then we can discuss certain points in that direction. So now I am opening this house for the further discussion.
Rishika?
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. Today, the topic of the discussion is global warming and its economic growth. And so, first we will discuss about that. What does we mean by global warming? Like global warming is basically an increase in CO2 level, which causes the consequences like melting of glaciers and all, which causes floods. And apart from that, it affects many areas like energy sector, health issues also is there, and there is infrastructure. It will affect infrastructure also. So there is many direction we can discuss it, and so I can now open the platform for the discussion.
Somanjit?
Yes. Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity to initiate today's discussion. Friends, the topic for today's discussion is what is the impact of global warming on the economic growth? Friends, I think we must discuss this topic on several dimensions. Like, first of all, we must discuss what is global warming and how it is directly or indirectly affecting the economic growth of, we can say, in a national level as well as on the global level. So friends, I think that yes, global warming is basically the emission of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which is increasing the temperature of our earth day by day. And it is the role of the humans that how judicially they are using the energy sector, how judicially they are emitting the greenhouse gases in the environment. So I think that we must discuss on several issues and what should be the solution of it, so that in future we can limit the earth temperature to, I think, 1.5 degrees Celsius is the target. All we must think out of it what we can do. Now I open the house for further discussion.
How?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Thao. Nice to meet you. So, as we can see now, it is expected that our globe will increase by 1.5 Celsius degree in the next 5 years. So that is like very dramatic degree of the temperature. So we can see that the global warming is one of the most alerting issue of our world nowadays. And in order to assess the impact of global warming at global scale, like I would like to recommend that we should go into we should discuss about the direct impacts and indirect impacts. So direct impact should include the industry that got directly impacted by the global warming. For example, the fishing or the farming industry. And the indirect impact should be that the global warming will increase the natural disaster like hurricane, typhoon, flooding, acid raining, and that will in turn hamper the overall GDP and overall economy. So I would like every one of us to share your opinions so that we can make our discussion a success. Thank you.
Okay, Rishabh.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to present on the topic of the impact of global warming on economic growth. So, according to me, this is critical, thought-provoking, as well as a matter of global security. Now, I would like to first of all define what is global warming. So, global warming is one thing in which some gases like CO2 and NO2 absorb infrared radiations and the radiations that are creating heating effect. So what happens is that the temperature increase annually to 0.18 to 0.24 degree per year. So this is a matter of concern because it can give rise to impacts that are visible as well as long-term impacts. The visible impacts would be seen directly on the energy sector, the day-to-day life of the human, and also on the productivity of day-to-day industry. Now, the longer-term effects that could be seen can be mass migration due to change of the nature, as which will give rise to natural calamity like floods, like acid rain, as my friend have also mentioned in those lines also can be its long-term effect. Now, I would like everyone to please discuss and make this event fruitful. Thank you, guys.
Astik?
Good evening, friends. I'm glad to initiate the current GD topic, that is impact of global warming on the economic growth. Of course, because of the man-made activities, the greenhouse gases have risen. It has formed a layer around the earth and capturing the heat. Because of this thing, the temperature is also rising and the glacier is also melting, because of which the population is too much high and the population is shrinking into one place. It has several impacts on the society, environment, as well as economic growth also. It has too many cons and too many pros also, but the cons are overpowering the pros. In pros, I would like to talk about the chances we have, like sustainable development methods. But in the cons, the cost we are giving has to be also included in the thing. So I welcome you to introduce. I welcome you all to participate in this discussion. Thank you.
Okay, so I think everybody has introduced the topic now, and we are ready to go for discussion. So since it is a small group, not a very big group, I expect that you will listen to others, you will give your opinion to others, and at the end we reach some kind of good solution to this particular group discussion. You will be providing me some of the important impacts of global warming on economic growth. So now I ask each one of you to go ahead and start your discussion.
Can I start?
Yes, yes.
So the first is, I think short term will be hamper in productivity as well as irregularity in the way of human life. What do you say, guys?
Yes, in my opinion, the first sector that we should focus, like in agriculture sector, like if greenhouse gases is emitting into the atmosphere, so directly it is affecting the crops, fields, and it is a very big blow to our agriculture sector. So since we are not fully developed in the agriculture sector, and if we are not focusing the global warming in a very short period of time, then we should also see some consequences in the long terms. So my first factor is the agriculture.
Adding to a point, I want to add that before agriculture, we should see about health issues. Like there will be health issues also, and
Yes,
so it
health
will
is.
hamper.
I think due to the limitation of the fossil fuels burning, there will be new technologies will come in energy sector, like non-conventional energy sectors. So the technology will also be going to grow, and these technologies can counterly it can enhance the impact on. I mean,
yes, I
economic.
agree with Bhupendra. Yes, I
Bhupendra,
agree
the topic
with
is
Bhupendra, what
like
he is
impact on the economic global warming on the economic growth, not
Yes.
that thing.
Risika,
No,
I
that's
think
right. The new technologies
I
can give
I think
new
I
technologies can give
agree
you
with
the
Bhupendra. I agree
economic
with
effect also.
Bhupendra. Like
I would
today in
slightly differ, like with
our major
slightly
objective
like
today
sustainable.
Yes, friends.
I Friends, I agree with Bhupender. Like today, our most of the thermal plants are running on fossil fuels. And if we have to control the global warming, then we have to reduce the uses of fossil fuels and we have to shut down those thermal power plants. So I think we have to invest more on renewable technologies. It is somehow impacting us in terms of monetary, we can say. Or
But sorry,
Amajit,
not solution, but impacts, please. Impact of the global warming. What?
that is what I'm saying, na?
Not solution.
The government has to invest more on technology, more on new fuels.
Amajit,
First of all, the impact will be the productivity. Second will be the erratic lifestyle of human. Third will be the long-term problem of agriculture as well as migration of people who are actually in the drought or flooded area.
I would like to add another point.
Fourth will be
the scarcity
like
will be drinking water.
Flora and fauna will be disturbed to very high extent.
There will be more scarcity in the drinking water.
What I am
the glacier is
so what I am talking about the new technologies will affect the national impact of national economy. Like there is two types of economy, global and national. One nation who is adopting the new technologies like electric vehicle, the economy of that nation will go up. That's why it is closely related to the economic impact only. This is
I think this is also embedded in the demand and supply charts. Like if the glacier is melting, the sea level is rising and it is intruding into the land level. So it is mixing with the groundwater and this is salinating. So if we want to desalinate it, the government has to spend more amount on it. So it will also impact on this thing. Just like the Middle East countries, they are spending much more in solar power of desalination.
Yes.
That we can use
due to this global warming, that we have also seen the climate change issues like Australia bushfire, Amazon bushfire. So we have seen due to this global warming. And another point is also
and also UK. There is a drought in UK also.
Yes, yeah, infrastructure is also go down. But another sector is tourism industries like glacier are melting down. So we are so whatever the tourism is going to see like Antarctica place. If we take an example, so if glaciers will be melted down, then no one will go to there to see.
Also, the seaside cities will be in some amount of time it will be submerged in water. So that will also create a chaotic land problem of issues of people,
and
how they will migrate and
how
we will integrate. How we will integrate first of all.
Government should take certain initiatives like
like how to actually
So for that we need money and it will affect our economic growth also.
First of all we need land. Money will be the secondary issue because the land is not actually expanding and the population is expanding. And the population, that expanding population also coming out to the mainland will be a problem also. So I think this is a very major problem.
Carbon trading is also a problem for this global warming. The carbon trading is just like the industries are trading some kind of carbon related measures within themselves.
It would be hellish to go into the sunstroke in the summers because even if we know that there are some parts in India that has prone to sunstroke. So that will become harsher with more and more global warming.
Too many countries are now involving in the carbon trading. Because of the carbon trading, the productivity is also increasing for one country, but the production of the carbon is also increasing. So that is also an alarming situation.
Yeah, and
there is also carbon negative term that can be come into picture.
Yes.
India the temperature of the ocean has raised. So
and also I think that if there will be global warming, if there will be global warming, then there will be cases of, just as Mayank said, that there will be depletion of glaciers and there will be cases of flood. So government has to then invest on those things. So they can't focus on the real development projects and also they can't focus on infrastructure projects. So I think that yes, there is somehow global warming is going to affect in a large scale to our economy.
And due to flooding, it damaged the property and the infrastructure. So it again hamper the economic development. And
It
since
also hampers human life, I think, because there are skin cancers and diseases that can happen when we have
yeah,
For
but
more
that, we
amount
can
of
keep it in
radiation.
health issues
Yes,
of
yes.
our.
Yeah,
That
because that
point I
will,
have told
but
that health issues
economic
will be there for.
impact. We are talking about economic impact only.
yeah, because
Yeah.
health hazard will also lead to economic impact in
Yes,
Because
yes. Health is
government has
directly
way,
related to the economic
because
impact
health
with the
is
nation. If there
more
was a
important than
corona, there
economy,
was
I
a
guess.
lot of
government
vaccine
has to invest
manufacturing.
on health
Yes, because of the
infrastructure.
medical.
Guys, global warming also causes the acid rain, and due to the acid rains, whatever the monuments and buildings, their actual situation will go down. Like in the Taj
Yeah.
Mahal, we have seen originally it has some white color, and now it is converting into some kind of yellow color due to this acid rain. So tourism industry will also affect badly. So
Yeah.
this is something due to this some economic condition of that country will also go down.
Yes,
Yes.
it
I
will
would like to
affect
add
the
another
national
point.
national
Yes.
economic
Yes.
impact will
Because
be
of the
there.
acid rain.
And my friend Mayank
So we
Agrawal
have-
said like it will affect the infrastructure also. The infrastructure, how does it affect? I want to know.
Like guys, as we have
Flooding.
seen it, like you have seen the UK example. Like UK, it is something around 30 to 35 degrees Celsius maximum, but currently it is approximately 45 or even 49 degrees Celsius. So whatever the roads, rails, due to this, they were something expanding, and due to this accident cases will also increases, and they have to change their infrastructure, whatever the existing infrastructure will be there. So they have to change their existing infrastructure. So infrastructure is, yes.
I
So I
agree.
think there will be a
So-
3-point like infrastructure, agriculture issue, and health hazards will be there.
And
So it
tourism
will affect,
industry also.
yeah, for tourism industry also.
Tourism.
These 4 points we have that will affect the economic impact of our
Yes.
Yeah,
country.
but I did. Some of us did mention about pros of the global warming impact.
Yes.
Like, could you please tell
Yes,
us?
like we can use hydrogen fuels,
Yes,
like we can use for geothermal energy instead of thermal energy. We can use the hydro energy for that.
But
That
I
this
can
think
is
actually
global warming is
inculcate
awaken us to use the
in.
sustainable methods of developments like
Yes.
So
hydrogen fuel cell,
that's why what will
solar
happen
panel,
in long term is that
wind energy,
people will
hydraulic
get
energy.
habituated in a way to use sustainable things for their
And
And for
development.
sustainable
and
things to
also-
come into role, we need
also
the
our-
money also. And so it will also affect the economic
And-
impact also, I guess.
Guys, the
Because
reason
like
and also I
biofuels
behind,
like
and
to
all,
guys, the
it will
reason
take
behind
so
the
much money to like blending and all. It will need so much money. Like ethanol, we know it has so much
And-
less calorific value as compared to fossil fuel. So
Yes,
meeting of
I would agree with you, but
Yeah.
I think more research should go on to make it more
How I
economical.
would
So
like
it
Yeah.
will go
yeah.
with
guys,
India,
yeah.
guys,
like
the
friends,
major
I would
reason.
like to
If
Friends,
a
I would like
government
to
is
add one
taking the global warming seriously, whatever amount of fossil fuels we have, it is already limited. When there is global warming, those limited resources will be used in a efficient manner, like IOCL Extra Green. It has launched now. It is increasing the fuel economy with the 4 to 5%.
Yes.
So
Yes.
And
IOCL has also
yeah,
launched a hydrogen
as
unit,
as
hydrogen
Hydrogen.
purifying
as
unit
all
also
that
for that purpose.
as we all know that recently, our government is investing heavily on e-vehicles. So one approach and talk about warming, like it is making us aware that yes, petrol and diesel are somehow creating bad effect in our environment. So if we are substituting that petrol and diesel with e-vehicle, then what benefit we can get is like that. Now the
One question, Somanji,
Adding to
how would you
your point,
drive that
Somanji,
electric car actually?
rupees
How are
Adding
your
to
energy
one-
sources?
No,
How are your
I'm
energy
saying-
first the
sources
energy
to
source
drive?
has to
for
be
the
green first.
We
EVs,
can-
for the EVs, I want to say that lithium-ion battery is so costly that it will
Yes.
affect our
But
economy.
there are
And
Yes.
setting up of charging stations also, It
is
will
also very
cost
heavily.
more.
Yes, but the government is also promoting the PLI scheme so that the EV
I
making
think
industry start growing.
hydrogen is a better
Petrol and
substitute
diesel.
than EVs, because I think hydrogen can be purified easily
Guys,
from
our mission,
atmosphere.
To produce
mission
hydrogen is a
net
difficult
zero carbon
But
emission
task
by
as well.
to
2070.
make all the
So
vehicles
till
on hydrogen
2070
because
that
it
we
is
will have
costly.
to deal with this carbon emission fuels. So as of now, that like first of all, the solution we can do is we can plant more and more trees so they can absorb the greenhouse gases, and due to this the global warming can be reduced due to this forestation issues. Forestation, if we do the forestation like one man one plant policies, something will be in this
Okay,
should be
Mayank,
Also-
it is the solution only. It is not the
The
topic
impact,
relevance.
impact,
Okay.
Yeah,
impact.
So
of
we
yeah,
should
I
go
think
with the
it's not
topic
the
relevance. That
impact.
is what is the
It's not the
economic impact.
impact.
I
We
think
can
one of
discuss the
very
what are
high
the
impact
indirect
will
factor
be
which is impacting the economic.
on day-to-day
Please,
changes of lifestyle. Because see, when you are changing from petrol car to EV, it's a very costly process. Someone
Yeah.
may not be able to buy an EV car
But-
because
Because lithium ion, lithium
But
metal
it's very
itself very
costly.
costly. It's
But the
very rare
maintenance
element.
and
It's a
running-
very rare
but the
element, and it
maintenance
is found
and
very
running-
rarely in India.
yeah,
but
and
the
lithium is also very
maintenance and
highly
running
actually
costs are
reactive
very
metal
less.
also.
Yeah.
So it should be
And
very
also-
much careful because it's very higher on the side of the. It's very
But
higher also
Rishabh-
than calcium and potassium.
But Rishabh, if you see the running cost of petrol and diesel cars, they are costing almost, I think, 7 to 10 rupees per kilometer. But
Yes.
if you see the EV,
Yes.
which will cost only rupees 1 per kilometer. So
Yes.
if you see
Well,
the
Somaji,
running
okay.
cost and
according to me,
maintenance
Somaji,
cost,
the
it's a
setting
very
first
up
of all, you
process,
have
the
to set
setting,
set the
setting up
process
We can-
actually.
the setting
That
up
will be
of
very
process
costly,
is very
Somanjit.
costly. Yeah, setting up
Very
of process
costly,
is
yeah.
very
But the
If you go
But
for
we
changing
can-
your petrol pumps directly
but
to
our
EV
government-
charging
but our
station,
government-
do you know how much
But
one
our
will
government-
cost?
Okay, but our government has made the target of, I think, 500 gigawatt producing from renewable sector by 2030. So our investments are going on renewable sector. We can use that
so
to
guys,
generate the
we should
It will
electricity.
take
get back
time,
to
I
the
guess.
part.
So setting up of these things will take time and
Time,
money
yes.
also.
Yes, so India
we
has
have
also
to
started
go
the
for-
national solar and
I think it's
solar
better
energy.
to go for social energy. So yes, solar energy,
Solar
wind
energy
energy,
has
and
been
water
also
energy.
been
What
I
is
think
promoted
it's
by India in the
ready
year
made
2010.
available.
In the year
है ना?
2010,
In
the
reverse.
national solar energy scheme was introduced, by virtue of which 748 gigawatt of energy could be produced by using only 3% of the land. By the year 2022, it was designed to be installed for 100 gigawatt, but now this has gone down to 40 gigawatt. By this year, this has been installed. So it is more costlier to plan for this
Yes,
kind of
solar
renewable source of
energy
energy.
is more accessible because
Yeah, more accessible, but to
we all
install these
know the
things are
example
more
of
costly.
Arctic zone where the ozone layer is destructed. The if it was not the ocean, if it was the land, if we install the solar plant there only, then we get directly more energy from the sun. We can utilize this solar power to get energy from that.
Another impact of global warming is the
One
climate
question,
change.
just
Climate change
what is
not
the
a
impact of when you are changing from your normal resources to solar resources? What will be the impact on economy, guys? Can you explain, Bhupendra?
Yes,
India has already initiated too many solar scheme plants like canal side bank solar
I'm saying
power.
on a general basis of a practical basis. We cannot say
In
that
a practical
3%
basis,
to
yes.
cover. On a practical basis, how much it will cost? And is that much land available in India?
Yes, of course, 3% of wasteland is used for this kind of purpose.
3%
and you asked me about what will be
a
the
practical
economic
impact.
impact. The
Yes.
whole mines,
But I think that it does
we
not
are
affect the
extracting
economic growth
coals
here.
from the mines. The extraction of mines, the cost of extraction will be reduced, cost of transportation will be reduced, cost of power plant will be replaced by the solar power plants
I think
installation.
not only
So,
land can be
so
used,
they
but also the water bodies can also be
But
used.
do you
The
know the
solar plants can be-
efficiency of solar plate?
What?
You know the efficiency of solar plate? What are the efficiency and how much land it will occur? Will it be that
yes.
much efficient to
Of
replace?
course, this will be that much efficient. It
No,
is
it
generating
is
748
not that
gigawatt
much
of
efficient
power.
yet.
No,
but
because when you
it
say
is always-
efficiency, it's not efficient, my guy. friends.
Yeah, okay.
Better
So
it is to
we
go
did.
for wind energy.
I
Better is to
agree
go
with
for
that.
hydropower. It is more efficient than your
But
solar
this is
power.
Friends, I think
then what is the cost of
friends,
producing hydrogen then? Do you know
Hydrogen,
the
no, I'm
production
saying
hydrogen?
hydropower.
friend, I think we are
Listen, I'm
diverting
saying
from the
Just
hydropower,
topic.
guys.
no, I think you said hydrogen fuel.
No,
So
I'm saying
what is the cost?
hydropower.
Hydropower is already
Hydrogen fuel
been
is
installed
very
in so many
Friends,
states.
hydrogen fuel is right now very much
Yes,
costly.
of course, these are really
Of
costly.
course, but it is more efficient than your solar power. So
Okay,
cost
so
when
we
it comes to
didn't reach
efficiency, it
the
is way more
consensus
efficient.
here.
It
We
is
didn't reach the
the
consensus.
hydropower is efficient, but it is not producing more work net. You all know.
And
It is
producing
not
it
able
will
to
How it
cost,
will
produce more
affect
will
work
the
cost
net.
economic
much.
growth?
Yes,
Will
because the
cost much
cost is heavy. Cost is
Yeah.
very heavy for setting a water plant.
Yes.
Cost is there in all the
The
things,
initial
like setting
cost
up
is very
of
high.
EVs,
Yes.
setting up of EVs for
see,
hydrogen
EV,
energies, and
hydrogen
all the
energy.
things we have
If you are
need
talking,
so much money for that.
Rishabh, if you are talking about cost, let me tell you that today, whatever the thermal plants are there, they have been also once upon a time they have been installed, and we have incurred the cost. So now we are getting the fruits of installing those plants. So in the same way, I would say that if we are investing in renewable sectors, then maybe it is not feasible right now, but after, if you see 70 years after, that may be beneficial for us in a long term. Like we can decrease the earth temperature from reaching to
That is the
larger
solution,
value.
I think.
That is, I think, solution. I am asking for the impact.
That is
What
the
are your
solution, but
impacts on
we have to
economy when
give
you
the
are trying to go
impact
for
on the
the?
economy.
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
is
asking. I
going
know
to.
the solutions also that these
I'm
are
saying
actually.
that it is going to impact the economy. That's no doubt. But yeah, that is having means we can get better things in future.
yes.
Okay, so
Because to
the
my
code
extent,
is
it
kind
will
of
also try
low.
to increase a little bit of unemployment. Because if you are getting some money from to
No,
set up
how you
something,
can
you
say
are taking it from
say
something.
that? I don't
Okay.
think so, because if you are
Okay.
investing on renewable sector,
Okay.
then it may generate employment for many people. You can't say that.
First
Yes.
of no. I'm asking
Yeah,
from
I
where you
agree.
will get the money. Because you know, I'm asking on a
Private
general
players have
purpose,
to
where will
come
you get?
There are
Okay.
too many private
See,
sectors
you
like
can't
Adani Group has already
totally
planned for
you can't
investing
totally
$100
depend
billion.
on government.
Okay.
Yeah, there are
And
many. Adani Power Limited is there, Reliance
Yes.
Industries Limited are there. They are investing usually on this renewable sector.
Renewable sources.
So yeah, you can't totally depend on the government. Some other people, some big technocrats have to come to help the government.
Okay,
That
now
will
I
impact
want
the economy at least.
okay, now I want each one of you to conclude. So I start with Somajit.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you for giving me opportunity for conclusion. Sir, today we had I won't say that means smooth discussion, but yeah, we have discussed on too many points that today, if we see that we are facing the problem of global warming and it's hugely impacting our economic growth, I would say it is. And also I would like to highlight some of the points, like if we see the impact on tourism sector, like there are melting of glaciers and there are issues of flood. So tourism sector has impacted very much due to this global warming. And also Mayank told about the acid rain, like global warming is promoting acid rain due to emission of SOx, which is reacting with water and producing sulfuric acid. So our Taj Mahals are being getting impacted due to acid rain. And also some of my friends talk about impact on agriculture sector, like there is reduction in the productivity of flora and fauna due to global warming. So farmers are not getting their minimum support price which they should get if they are having good productivity. So on that note, I would like to conclude today's topic.
Yeah, Rishika.
According to our discussion, we get to a point that global warming has affected many sectors, like tourism sector. It has affected our infrastructure also, and health. It has affected our health issues also, for which economic growth will also come down, and agriculture also it will affect. For infrastructure, it can cause acid rain, and for emission of NOx, it can cause degradation of our Taj Mahal and very famous monuments. And in case of tourism effect, there is a melting of glaciers and all, and it will cause so much money for that, and it will affect that also. And reduction in flora production of our agricultural crops can also affect our economic growth also. So these are the conclusions what we have arrived.
Okay, Tao.
Yeah. So we did have a very hard discussion and why the pros of the global warming is blurred, and we didn't reach a consensus. But in terms of the cons, I do see that we did have so many negative impact of the global warming. For example, when it comes to a direct impact, many of us had agreed that it devastates the agriculture sector, like fishing or farming, and it increase, and the indirect impact should include the increasing interval of natural disaster like hurricane, like flooding, which in turn damage our economy, damage the property and infrastructure. And tourism is one of the most affected industries of the global warming too, since many of the seashore sites has been erased due to the increasing sea level.
Okay, Rishabh. Rishabh.
Yes, sir. Sir, now I would like to conclude. We have certain some erratic discussion, and we do not reach a common consensus. But we do have certain good points, like it will impact tourism sector because of the change in the climate. Like somebody has mentioned that in Himalayas the glacier will melt, their tourism sector will very much hamper. So somebody has also said about natural calamity that will occur, like melting of glaciers in Himalayas and Antarctica and Arctic, and also the change in the submerged city will come in certain years, so that the land mass will move to mainland. That will also create a chaotic situation. Agriculture can be also said to be a one point where we have agreed that it will hamper flora and fauna, which will change the development and growth of crops. It will make it erratic. Other thing is health hazard, we have mentioned and discussed. Like in certain time, after some time, it will happen that we will see more and more kind of skin diseases that will incur from the change in temperature. Also, there are infrastructure changes, as people have mentioned that in UK and Australia they have seen a very kind of temperature change, vicious temperature change, which will lead to a change in infrastructure to sustain. Other thing is, sir, a cost that will be incurred due to sustainable development, because to do a sustainable development you will need certain costs from changing that to that mode, sir. That will also hamper somewhat of economy in shorter terms, but it will be very fruitful in the longer term, sir. That was all the discussion, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Bhupender.
I would like to conclude the discussion. We all were not have the common opinion, but we all almost all have the good points. One of that was like it will affect the infrastructure. It will affect the tourism also. The monuments are decaying with the effect of acid rain, and the major industry which will be going to affect is the fuel industry, the energy industry, like oil sectors, coal mines, thermal power plants. So I agree, and all you are agreed, like the economic impact will be different for different region. Like for Iran, whose economy is based on the oils only, will be going to be directly affected. Second thing is productivity will be enhanced, because oil sector, coal mines, these oil sector have to redesign their product. So the efficiency will increase. Efficiency increases, the economic growth will can be estimated to have. And the third is like if we adopt the nuclear fuels, the USA like countries will have the more economic growth in future. So these are the points I can conclude. Thank you.
Asik?
So, even though the discussion was not consensual, but all of us have given too many valid points. Like there are too many cons of global warming, like the tourism industry is getting affected. There will be a scarcity in clean water, and the natural calamity will devastate too many properties. Then the most impact will be on the fuel industries and the fuel generating countries too. But it has also alarmed us for adopting sustainable development methods, because it is good to be late than an accident. So we can proceed more towards the renewable sources of energy. That's how I conclude. Thank you.
Okay, anybody left?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mayank, go ahead.
Sir, I would like to conclude the discussion on the behalf of the group. Sir, we have a very good discussion, and first we all discuss about what is the global warming. So global warming simply the greenhouse gases that is emitting into the atmosphere, which causes the global warming. And due to this global warming, economic impact, like due to this global warming, climate change issues will be there. We have seen, we discuss about some Australia bushfire, and due to this infrastructure will also go down, like UK, USA, because their existing infrastructure is not like to sustain above 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. So if temperature will go, if temperature will increase, that their existing infrastructure will also damage. So they have to look out this infrastructure also. And now third point is the tourism industries, because whatever the greenhouse gases is emitting into the atmosphere, they will be reacting with the water and converting into the sulfuric acid, which causes the acid rain, and it will bad impact on the monuments, buildings, and due to this their color will also go down. Like in the Taj Mahal, they have somewhat white color, and now it is converting into the yellowish color type. So due to this, tourism sector will also decreases, and due to this, economic growth will go down. And another sector is human life, because whatever the gases is emitting into the atmosphere, they will be suction. It will go down to the humans, and if human will get infected, then it will be very huge loss to the productivity, because human are indirectly related to the industrialization or the productivity of the country. So the productivity of the country will go down, and this will be the effect on the economic growth of the country. So we have this points. So at the end, we have a very good discussion.
Okay, now let me conclude this entire. Let me give you feedback for this entire discussion. See, all of you have given the points. That is okay, but try to listen others also, and try to make it more interactive. Rather than only telling your points, start listening also other points. Make it more and more interactive. That is a better way. Now, if I tell you structure was missing, actually, you need to give a structure to the discussion. As I keep on telling you always, in the introduction itself, you should give a structure. And in this particular thing, you should stick around the topic. The topic is what is the impact of global warming on economic growth. So you need to talk only about that. You are not to tell what are the reasons, you are not to give the solution. You have to give only the causes. What is the cause? That is the topic he's clearly asking you. Now, in the causes, you can divide this entire topic into two categories: microscopic and macroscopic. You can always see, what are the microscopic causes and what are the macroscopic causes. When we talk about the microscopic causes, it are related to individual and the quality of life of the individual. So what happens is, when global warming is there, it is going to create, weather, different patterns of the weather. So weather is changing. So this phenomenal change in the weather pattern is because of global warming. Somewhere you find that there's a floods, somewhere you find there's a forest fires. So all these things are because of the changing pattern of the climate. So climate change is because of global warming. So that climate change has impact on individual also and his earning also. We give a small example. Suppose there is a flood because of the climate change. Now that flood has microscopic impact, macroscopic impact. Suppose there is a weather change, and because of that weather change, there are La Nino, El Nino impact on monsoon near equator in Indian landmass, right? So when monsoon changes, the farmer income of the farmer goes down, and it is a microscopic impact. His income goes down. But when we see the macroscopic, then the GDP of entire nation goes down. That is a macroscopic impact. So microscopic is affecting particular individual, particular organization. And macroscopic, it is impacting entire sector, agriculture, tourism, all these things you said. It is impacting the national growth. It is impacting the infrastructure. When there's a flood, then entire infrastructure of the government goes waste. And then there's a huge investment again incurred by government to create that infrastructure. So that is a macroscopic thing. So microscopic impact, macroscopic impact. You people mentioned some of the sectors like agriculture sector you mentioned, and infrastructure structure you mentioned, then fishing, some of you mentioned fishing. So all these things you people mentioned, that is because of this. And whenever there are natural disasters, so natural disasters are also increasing because of the global warming. Another impact is global warming is because of the burning of carbon, and carbon is burned maximum in power plants or in transportation because of the oil. Now that is not a sustainable fuel. So do we have alternate of that? We do not have. Now think of developing nations like India, China and all, where quality of the life of the people is dependent upon the economic growth. And the fuel or oil is the main source which runs the economy. Now think of if that fuel or that oil, you cannot use that. If you cannot use that, then how you will develop the economy? So because if you want to prevent global warming, the upper limit of which you have kept already 1.5 degree more than average temperature. So average earth temperature is 14 degrees centigrade, 1/4, and it should not go beyond 1.5. Otherwise there will be catastrophic repercussions. So to prevent that, 1.5 should not go. So that means you cannot use carbon. If you cannot use carbon, what is the alternate source for you? And if you cannot do that, economic growth will be hampered. So that is the long-term perspective of that. And there is a reason you are talking about now, alternate source of fuels and all, but that is not possible immediately to create that. So this way, if you think entire things, this way you will find that it is microscopic and macroscopic impact. That is how you are to understand this entire thing. Right? So all of you have given points, but my point is like you need to give that in structure form and keep discussing in structure. You are giving an example of color change of the marble which is used in Taj Mahal and all. They're small examples, very, very microscopic. Think of microscopic and macroscopic both. That is how you have to think of. Then the level of water is increasing, and some nations, some countries, the land mass is going down, submerging, like Bangladesh. And many, islands of India, surrounding India, islands are also getting submerged. So those kind of things are also there. Fine. So all from my side. Anything you want to ask or tell? So you should always make a structure, and you should always note these points. Yeah. Yes,
It is not